From Tachikawa Air Base in Japan, a telegram was sent on November 9th to Lee Oswald, care of the American Embassy in Moscow. Its author was Sergeant John E. Pick. Please reconsider your intentions. Contact me if possible. Love, John. John McVicker of the American Embassy in Moscow wrote a note for the Oswald file. November 9th, 1959. I took a typed copy of the message from Pick, Oswald's half-brother, down to the Metropole Hotel today to deliver to Oswald. I went directly to the room, 233, and knocked several times, but no one answered. The cleaning lady told me that he was in the room and only came out to go to the toilet. I decided not to leave the message, but to have it sent by registered mail. On the way out, I phoned from downstairs, but no answer. McV. November 2nd to 15th. Days of utter loneliness. I refuse all reporters, phone calls. I remain in my room. I am racked with dysentery. Now, at the Metropole, Rima would go up to his room. She could. She had been given new rules, as if it were a new case. She was assigned to taking full care of him. He was no longer a tourist. They took it as something very serious, and so did he. Why were they not solving this problem? He was very nervous. He told her that all his money had gone for his tour de luxe. He had done it purposely. If he was on a tour alone, more attention would be given to him than in a group, and that way he could fulfill his plan. Rima's relationship with Lee became a good deal closer. He was very much like a relative now, but not a brother, not a boyfriend, in between. He wanted to kiss her and was ready to try, but she didn't want that. She never kissed him at all, not ever. It was considered, as the English would say, not good form to behave like that. People who did could lose their jobs. Of course, for her as a person, she could certainly kiss him if she wished it that much, but you see, she did not. Certainly not. She had a boyfriend, a young engineer, graduate of Moscow Power Institute, whom she would see once a week. A loving fellow. Moreover, with Alec, it was a situation where it was impossible to be light-minded. The consequences of improper behavior could not be simple. A Russian writer said once, "It's better to die than to kiss without love." And good girls were of that same opinion. If she didn't love him and didn't want close relations, then she should not kiss. So she patted him on his hand. Enough. Her psychology. Besides, she had to send reports to her chief and be factual, always factual. So how could she kiss? Was she to report that? She would say Alec was okay, he wanted to be accepted into their Soviet Union. She tried to give a good impression of him, but factual. Sometimes she wrote her report daily, sometimes weekly. It depended on how much information she received. They didn't ask her to tell them every day, but absolutely when she felt she should. Very difficult days. However, she must say, she enjoyed her in-tourist job immensely, an adventurous job and patriotic, and connected with protecting her government and her country. She considered herself as doing a very important job that her country needed. So when she gave her impression of Oswald to her chief, it was to enable them to make an educated decision on what to do. KGB needed intelligent reports. They had to know as many aspects as possible of how this specific person was different from other people, and Alec was different from others. Although she did not think he was a spy from American intelligence, she had never met a spy. So despite her personal impressions, she had to be careful. Nowadays, if she were working in Intourist, she could analyze him, but in those days they simply said to her, "Did he meet people in your presence?" They never asked her opinion if he was sincere. She would have told them he was. He is frank and wants to stay, but she wasn't asked. And, of course, KGB, not Intourist, would make that final decision. Besides, she didn't know what he did after dinner. Between 9 and 5, yes, but not after dinner. November 15th. I decide to give an interview. I have Miss Mosby's card, so I call her. She drives right over. I give my story, allow pictures. Later, story is distorted, sent without